Hi, my name is Nick Hernandez, and today I want to talk a little bit about the Wilson Park Master Plan. This is a plan that's actually been underway for several years. It was funded through VJ Wilkins grant, about $33,500. We had a steering committee that basically took a year to go through the process and identify the different needs for the plan and for the park. And as you can see behind me, we'll go into more detail here in a little while when we do the fly-through, but there's several different components to the plan. There is a splash pad, there are improvements to the train, there's a playground component, there's a farm and art market, and then there's also an event center planned as well. The event center is one of those that's going to be like a second or third phase type item that potentially with funds 3 to 5 years from now we can take a look at, but it's not an immediate concern, an immediate project that we're going to be looking at. Altogether, our plan is to basically have this portion of the plan completed in the next 2 years, utilizing private donations and fundraising, and also leveraging some grant opportunities through the state and federal government. So hopefully we can get this plan going, and we encourage you to help us out, and we will be having more details of who to get a hold of if you would like to make a donation, and be looking for that in the Arc City Facebook page and also on our city website. But thank you so much. This is Nick Hernandez again, and I'm going to be doing a fly-through of the Wilson Park Master Plan. If we're looking down Birch Street right now, with the Brahms being to the right, and as you'll see, we'll do a pan over the park area completely, and you'll kind of see some of the major components come into play. You'll see the train to your left. You also see a playground equipment, and then also you see like a fountain type area with a sunflower. So those are some of the most prominent, but you'll also see the large event center with an indoor-outdoor space. And you'll also see housing on two sides. 2nd Street is on the right-hand side, and so housing potentially be on the west side and also on the north side of the park right now. That is a component that doesn't have to occur immediately. It has to make sense for the park, and it has to make sense for the community in order for that space to be utilized to its best ability. You'll also notice on the right-hand side, you'll see a parking lot that's near the rotunda. That's where the existing 4 tennis courts are currently, and those items are supposed to be removed. The Wilson Park project is really a project for everyone. It's one of those that can be easily handled with existing maintenance staff and with existing operational funds. It's not anything that we potentially have to raise taxes for, and our goal is not to issue any debt for this project, and to also pay for the project with donations and grants if at all possible. The train portion, which you see in the center of your screen right now, is actually underway. We are going to be doing the lead abatement of the train and also doing some metal fabrication and some repainting of the train, and hopefully have that done here in the next couple months. Now we're traveling along Birch to the event center. And as you can see, the event center is actually modeled after the old BNSF rail depot that was located off of Central Avenue here in Arkansas City. The event center could potentially hold up to 300 individuals, and it has the outdoor-indoor area, and there's bride and groom rooms in there to potentially have wedding events there as well. The shade structure that you see is made of upside down rail line basically, so it is railroad ties with actual rail on the underside of it. It's kind of a neat architectural element paying homage to the train motif of the park. You'll also notice several plantings of new trees and bushes throughout the park. I believe the plan adds over 100 additional trees to the area, which will help to provide shade for the future and to also bring it more of a nature type setting. What you're going to see now is potentially the library, museum, or another type entity space. It's an additional $5,000 onto the event center During the master plan process, committee members and the V.J. Wilkins Trust wanted to look at what potential would be available for additional space, potentially if the library outgrew where it's currently at, or if its mission changed in the future. This would be a great spot to house those type of entities. Our hope is to have funding commitments from several large donors here within the next month or so, and then starting the fundraising process for all those individuals that'd like to give maybe $25 or $50 or $100 to the project. And now we're going over to the Memorial Garden space. Memorial Gardens is placed in that position as to serve as a quiet area between the residential housing and the park. One of the items that we've talked about is in the very center, having the old hospital memorial bricks put in the center of it. And also this potentially be a site to raise funds to give in memory of family members and friends. This is coming in off 2nd Street. You see the enhancement of the parking lot area with lighting and the overview of the event center with the library. We're going to be traveling towards the rotunda now, and one of the very first things you'll notice with the rotunda is that it is glassed in. We actually have proposed potentially having roll-up glass doors so it could be utilized several times throughout the year rather than being just a seasonal type of facility. Here's a splash pad. It's kind of a placeholder right now as far as the artwork goes. The sunflower could be replaced with potentially a compass, or it could be replaced with playground equipment, but we'll have a committee put together to help with the design of that structure. Here's the restroom facility. The restroom would be open year-round, potentially heated and cooled to allow for the pumping equipment for the splash pad to be located in there as well. Now you can see sort of the train improvements. This is pretty much what it's going to look like as far as the area goes once we're completed. And then we pan around to the playground equipment. The playground equipment is separated into 2 areas. Playground design dictates that you have your toddler area and then your older kid area. So what you'll see is basically a 0 to 3 area on the west portion, which is on the right of your screen, and then the older kid portion to the left. This is not going to be another potential committee for the design. We want to keep the train look throughout the park, so that can be designed to better suit the needs of the park for the future. And now we're going to be going into the farm and art market and also the parking lot area, which sits on the existing 4 tennis courts. And as you can see, their vehicles are actually backed up to the shade structure. The shade structure, it has a giant breezeway to allow individuals to be covered by the elements and to provide shade in those hot summer days, and also to allow for the vendors to have a plug-ins for their goods and for their items. And if it's highly successful, it naturally overflows right into the rotunda, and you'll see the rotunda glassed in as well again. And then you also see this extended seating area and kind of like a breezeway around the structure. All the bricks that you see in this video would be reutilized street bricks that are found throughout the town, and we also have a very large pile of available bricks already. And then that's basically the overview of the park. As far as phasing goes for the project, there's a immediate phase that's already currently underway, and that is renovation of the existing train. We're going to be sandblasting and removing the lead, as well as doing some metal fabrication work. Our end goal is actually to make it a more functional type item for the kids and potentially have it where it can last another 50 years for the park. Our intention is to keep that piece of equipment open to the public to allow for the kids to play on it for generations to come. As far as the next phase would be the splash pad. The splash pad is an item that's kind of been requested for several years. The splash pad would be in conjunction with the restroom facility. The restroom facility houses the pumping equipment for the splash pad, which would require us to do some underground piping and some movement of utilities. But that is a very large phase, and we hope to have that done and be under design as funds allow. But our ultimate goal is to have that potentially completed for the summer of 2019, I believe is the goal for that project. Also, we'll be doing the playground area. We'll be starting the kickoff for fundraising on the playground equipment. We'll get a committee together and start that process. The glassing in the rotunda is one of those that'll be probably towards the end of the next phase of the project, because it's just going to be a little bit more complicated type situation, and we want to make sure that we do it justice when we do add the glass. And then also the farm and art market. The farm and art market's kind of contingent upon the tennis court removal and the replacement with a parking lot, and also funding as well.